Hi everyone, good day. And this is again Miss Tanya speaking for the pre-recorded discussion that we will have for theoretical framework. Okay. So I hope you were able to head over to Microsoft Teams and check the necessary instructions written there. So I am making this pre-recorded discussion for the benefit of learners, of course, who are not fond of independent learning like reading or skimming and scanning the notes that I gave you. All right. So I will share a screen. I can see myself now. Okay. Right. So as you can see, guys, it's my screen now. Desktop screen that I have. So I will just go to Canva and show to you my presentation. Okay. So I was actually speaking, or I am actually speaking on a Sunday night. So this is in preparation for my classes tomorrow for my Monday schedule. Okay, so I will present this now. Right, so I am presenting. Okay, so welcome to Module 3, Lesson 2. Right, so I will discuss briefly theoretical framework. Okay, so what are we gonna do or what are we gonna learn in this lesson? So number one, we have to define, of course, what is a theoretical framework. So from the word itself, theory, or in plural form, it's theories, right? So when we say theories, of course, we know that it's based on a phenomena, okay, where we could actually draw connections from there and make predictions, okay? Theory. It's not yet proven, but of course, it's based on a phenomena, okay? So, what is the relevance of theories to theoretical framework, and why do we have phenomena, of course, in research? So, in theoretical framework, we explain the theories that support our research, and we show that our work is grounded in established ideas. It's another way of saying that we have this idea, but we also have other people who have similar ideas like us, right? So we tend to gather the ideas of people, the theories of people to support our study, okay? Then what else do we have to remember? Of course, the goal. What is the goal of TF or the theoretical framework? So before you start your research, you have to explore what theories and models others researchers or other researchers have already developed. So it's like finding literatures, okay, that you would write for your working research titles introduction part. Okay, so the goal of the theoretical framework is actually to present and explain this information. Okay, so why do other people have theories like you, or why do they have ideas like you? And why do they support, or why is it that your theory or theories would support your study as well? Okay, and there may be different theories about your topic, so the theoretical framework also involves evaluating, comparing, and selecting the most relevant ones. So, for example, your study is on online learning. So, there are a lot of online learning theories, right? So, you have to select the best, and that would be really relevant to your study, okay? So, by framing, quote unquote, your research within a clearly defined field, you make the reader aware of the assumptions that inform your approach, showing the rationale behind your choices. Okay, so it gives your reader a sense of direction in a sense. For example, they would know that these are your assumptions, these are your theories. They would know that. Okay, so it would give them a sense of direction or a sense of meaning. Okay, so why are we reading this kind of study? Okay, so they have their assumptions. Oh, right. So they have their support regarding their assumptions. Okay. Then we also have here examples of theoretical framework. So I have fields in For example, literature, psychology, and economics. So let us take first literature. So for example, a scholar using postmodernist literary theory would analyze The Great Gatsby differently than a scholar using Marxist literary theory. So we have two theories here mentioned. We have the postmodernist and Marxist to analyze The Great Gatsby, right? So as a researcher or as a scholar in this sense, you have to choose one that would really support your analysis. Okay, and you have to justify and explain as to why you have chosen this theory. What's inside the theory that made you choose? Okay, then we have the field psychology. So we have a behaviorist approach to depression would involve different methods and assumptions than a psychoanalytical approach. Then you have to justify why did you choose behaviorist approach than psychoanalytical. Okay. Then we also have the field of economics. Wealth inequality would be explained and interpreted differently within classical economics and Keynesian economic frameworks. Okay, so you have to justify which would really support your study. Okay, then we go to the question how to create a theoretical framework. Of course, you're thinking right now, how do we write this, miss? What's the format? What should we do? Okay, so here's what you will do. Number one, you have to identify the key concepts. If you have remembered last week, I would say, what are the key concepts in your working research title? Then Sir Robert would also ask, what are the concepts present in your title? Why do we have to identify them? So the first step is to pick out the key terms from your problem statement and research questions. What's included in your title? What's included in your SOP? So concepts often have multiple definitions, yes. Okay. So the theoretical framework involves clearly defining what you mean by each term. Okay, setting aside, of course, the role or the purpose of having definition of terms in the study, but in theoretical framework, we also tend to clearly define what do we mean by these key terms. Okay, so we have here an example. So we have the problem, objective, and research questions. So your problem is many online customers do not return to make subsequent purchases. So your objective based on that problem is to increase customer loyalty. So how are you going to do that? Your research question can be, how can the satisfaction of company X's online customers be improved in order to increase customer loyalty? Okay, so that is your research question, the problem as well, and your objective. So what are the key terms there? So we have the key terms here. All right, so that's quick. So the key terms here, we have customer loyalty, customer satisfaction. Okay, so these are your main focus. So the purpose of or the use of theoretical framework in these concepts is to define them, okay, and discuss theory or theories about the relationship between them. Okay, so why? Why customer loyalty and why customer satisfaction? Okay, so another example that I have here, or another thing that you have to remember, is to evaluate and explain relevant theories, of course. Evaluate and explain. So as you write your TF, you have to aim to compare and critically evaluate the approaches that different authors have proposed. Okay, choose the best one. It's not only that when we see a theory that would support our claim, that automatic we have to use it because it somehow appears relevant, but we have to really study, okay, read, summarize if it's really relevant or not, because maybe the title is, but the content isn't. Right? So, after discussing different models and theories with your group mates, for example, you have to establish the definitions that best fit your research and justify why this is the case, right? So make sure to mention the most important theories related to your key concepts, right? If there is a well-established theory or model that you don't want to apply to your own research, explain why it isn't suitable for your purposes, okay? Then lastly, one thing that you have to remember, aside from these two, okay, two, okay, so we have number three, show how your research fits in. How? So apart from discussing other people's theories, the theoretical framework should show how your own project or study will make use of these ideas. So you might aim to do one or more of the following. So we have test whether a theory holds in a specific context. Two, use theory as a basis for interpreting results. Three, critique or challenge a theory. So in this sense, you could also refute a theory. Then last, combine different theories in a new or unique way, right? So these are just some of the aims that you could have why your research fits in. Okay, then another question you might be thinking is, Tanya, what is the structure of a theoretical framework? The answer is there. There are no fixed rules for structuring a theoretical framework. The important thing is to create a clear, logical structure. Okay. One option is to draw on your research questions, structuring each section around a question or key concept. So these are the options in which you could actually make your theoretical framework. Right. Questions? If you have questions, please do write them down and ask them to me during our synchronous class. Right. And I will have here my final notes. Okay. So the example of theoretical framework is actually located on MS Teams assignment entitled Writing Theoretical Framework. I have attached there the link for the example of your theoretical framework. Okay, you could use that as your basis. Then for the reference of this topic, I got this from Sarah Vince, published on October 14, 2015, revised October 22, 2020, and the title is Developing Your Theoretical Framework. Okay. And of course, it was presented by yours truly. Right. So thank you so much for listening, and I hope that you got something on my short discussion today. Right. So have a great day, you guys, and do not forget to do the activity based on our, of course, class schedule to avoid a lot of assignments, okay, piled up on your case, right? So thank you so much, guys. I'm actually sleepy now. Okay. So thank you and have a great day. Bye.